Hey, it's Dorleen. I'm playing in my junk journal again today. So, if you follow my channel, you know that I have a lot of what I call unfinished pages, and this was one of them. And when I mean unfinished, is you can tell there were splotches, there were marks, there were things happening to this page, but it wasn't really finished. So, in a sense, it's a blank page, right? So, I had some of this olive acrylic paint I used for another project, and I hate to just waste material or medium. So I've added a little water to it, and I just started drawing a long stem across the page from the top right, top left to the bottom right. And then I just started painting some leaves onto the stem. And also because these two pages are going to coordinate, I went ahead and put some of that green paint over on the left-hand side, left-hand page, as well as just kind of continuing to fill in some spots throughout both sides. Now, I really like it when you water down acrylic paint because it does give it like a watercolored look, but obviously it's a little bit thicker, but I think I really like it. It's really pretty. So when I first looked at this, I thought, oh, those leaves are really ugly. So I added some of that watered down paint, or really just water, and I really just rubbed that in a little bit more. So it looked a little bit fuller, I guess is the right word. So then I grabbed some purple acrylic paint, because if you notice on the left page there was some purple paint. So I wanted, again, them to coordinate. Now again, it's not going to coordinate exactly, but I do want them to flow since they're right next to each other. So just using my finger, which I call my favorite tool, I added some acrylic paint, and you didn't see it, but I have it over there on the left. There's a canvas that I just pull up all the paint that I'm using, and I like to add a little water like I mentioned earlier because it gives it more of a watercolor look. Once that dried, I realized I absolutely hated what it looks like, and that's why I grabbed a white, this is a finer point Posca paint pen, and I just outlined each of the leaves and added some white dots just throughout the inside of the leaf, the petal, whatever you want to call it. And I do that on all of them, and I like the way that looks. I think it looks really fun, and I love that whole kind of whimsical look. So now I'm just going to continue to add some color. I grabbed some of those Tim Holtz crayons, some yellow, you'll see a little bit, use some orange, and I just use a little bit of water and use my finger, again, my favorite tool, and rub that color around just here and there and wherever I thought needed some color. Again, this is just me playing, nothing really specific that I'm following. Don't really know where it's going until I put the color down, but I really like the way this is looking. Of course, if you like all the colors of the medium that you're working with, it does all kind of just come together nicely, or at least in my opinion. I did decide to add a little bit of orange because even though you can see earlier or up on the top where there's some of that yellow kind of blending into the pink, it does already give it that natural orange because of the pink and the orange, pink and yellow combination. But again, just use some water and rub that in here and there. Now you notice I'm really concentrating on the right page of this 2-page spread, mostly because that is what I wanted to finish. And then you'll realize later that when I'm looking at it, I think, oh, I totally ignored that left page, and I'll add some color later. So another thing that I do is I do have a bunch of stamps, and these are kind of just like markings, and these are some crosses, X's, whatever you want to call it. I guess it depends on how you hold the or how the stamp is angled, and right now they're just little crosses, and I'm just stamping them using some regular black ink. This is not archival ink, but I'm not too worried about it because I wasn't planning on putting any other color medium over that black, so I was okay with that. So this little bottle is just some watered down acrylic paint that I've had in this bottle forever. I really like it for this reason, just kind of splattering dots of white. Now, if you notice, I'm using my finger to try to rub some of that out. Those dots were way bigger than I had anticipated, but probably because that paint was pretty clumpy in the bottle and I really should have shook it a little bit better. So I just used my finger to erase some of that, and I just kind of smudged it here and there. That larger point paint pen I used to darken or full up that stem, and then I'm just writing a quote. Now, I keep a list of just random quotes that I like on Pinterest, and this is one of them. It's pretty funny, and at the end, I'll show you a close-up, but basically it just says, some people need a high five in the face. No, I know it absolutely does not go with this really bright, fun spread, but whatever, it's funny. I love it. So this is, like I said, I'm going a little bit close up and I realized, oh shoot, I didn't do anything to this left side. I didn't do a whole lot more. I just added some yellow and some orange of that same crayon just here and there, just to add some, like I said, some flow, a natural kind of flow. I do put a little bit of stamping with those X's or crosses over on the lower left-hand side. But I do hope you like this, and if you do, make sure you hit the like button or the thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do post 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, because that is my first love, and the second is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center, and in this case it happened to be a journal or junk journal entry. But I do hope you like it, and I hope you learned something, and I inspire you to do your own art journaling. Thanks again for watching. Bye.